Hey everyone, it's Dal, and this is going to be my part 2 of my Sesame Street series, and hopefully the final one for a little while. Um, I just want to talk about the show itself from what I've seen from the Sesame Street old school, which I'll probably get, probably this week maybe, because I have some things that need to be due next week. But I may decide to just return a couple of them and keep the rest. So I thought I would share my views of Sesame Street. Or, um, for a while I always thought Blue's Clues was a little bit better because it didn't have like 9 million things going on at once. But when I really look back at the show, thanks to the old school stuff from the 70s and 80s, and just seeing the work that they've done with the show, and I haven't seen the now Sesame Street. I don't know how good it's gotten. I know it's gotten to several controversies, such as Katy Perry's Hot and Cold parody being cancelled because of the way she dressed, to having a character talking about how his dad is serving over in jail. So, but when I look back at Sesame Street, I actually applaud them for it. Well, except for the whole Katy Perry thing, because, well, it's Katy Perry. I mean, what type, what, what confuses you about Katy Perry? She's always like that. But besides that, Sesame Street is a great show. Was then, and I'm sure it is still good. But when I was growing up, we had like Elmo's World and different sketches like that, and yeah, that can be pretty bad because when I saw the old school Sesame Street, I was convinced those early years are the best years of the show. They were just trying out different things. It had simpler formula, had some animated pieces, and then some Muppet live action pieces, and that's it. There really wasn't too much other segments that they actually did back then, which I can totally applaud for. In later times, especially now, we have different games and stuff that they play, and it's just kind of wild out there, but overall, I think Sesame Street is a pretty fine show. Is it one of my favorite preschool series? Probably not, but I still really do love it. It's just not my absolute favorite one. It's just a favorite, okay? And that's something that we can all be proud of. Do I think it's time that Sesame Street ended? Like, real end the series so we can talk about how great it was? No. I don't think it's come to that point where where we're gonna say, man, the older stuff was the best. Why can't they just get rid of the show now so we can talk about how great it was? I know that it hasn't come down to that point just yet. It has gone through many things over the years, but overall, it's still a pretty good show. And with the leaving of Maria, it strengthens me even more about some of the older stuff and some now stuff too. Because we all have a bond with Sesame Street. It's just There's so many different preschool shows now that's billing for the top space. Before, it was just Sesame Street with maybe Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now there's dozens of them. So much so there's even whole channels like Disney Junior and Nick Jr. who split it off and made their own channels. This is insane time. But Sesame Street somehow still stayed with us because our parents grew up with it. We grew up with it. The future generations probably will grow will grow up with it. We need Sesame Street because it is so good. And I don't think it's time to get rid of it. I think it will tell when it's time to get rid of Sesame Street. But for now, it can still stay on the air. I just really do love the show. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, or if you want to relive your childhood, there's the Sesame Street Old Schools Volumes 1, 2, and 3 on DVD. You can probably pick it up over on Amazon. Volume 1 covers 1969 through 1971. Volume 2 covers 1972 through 1984. I'm not sure. 1983, maybe? I'm not sure. 1969, maybe, for Volume 1 through 1971. And then it mainly goes through the 70s and 80s, basically. Not the 90s yet. So, if you can go over there, you can get it over at a library, because I'm gonna go get it over at my library. So, yeah. Have fun reliving those memories. We'll miss you, Maria, but Sesame Street is gonna be okay.